Tasha Layton, who has toured and was with Katy Perry for many years, has an amazing journey that we're going to watch together.
I want to start here. The biggest lesson you have learned in music professionally so far?
Oh gosh, you just went right in, didn't you? I think just trusting God with every step, because before I entered music to do my own music, there were a lot of years that I wasn't sure how God was going to work it out. I didn't understand why I was taking this path or going in this direction, or how He was going to work it all together for His good. And then hindsight's 2020. Looking back, He was weaving that beautifully, but I didn't understand that. And I think that's true at any phase of our lives, is trusting Him, knowing that He's got it, and He is essentially carving the way if you are surrendering to Him. And I think even now with what I'm doing, it's easy to get burned out. It's easy to let someone else try to tell you who you are. I mean, we face the same challenges as artists that anybody else does. And so it's that continual lesson of trust.
Yeah, and you toured with Katy Perry for years. I mean, your background is so interesting to me. Leading worship at your church, working in that secular world, and then you could have taken a path. You could have gone the secular route, or you could have gone the Christian route. What was it for you? Because I know there were a lot of big decisions that had to be made that led you to say, no, I'm going to listen to that voice this time.
Well, what's interesting about it is I was offered a deal on the I hate to use this term, but the secular side, and I felt so firmly that it wasn't what I was called to do. And there were compromises in that world for those of us who haven't been in that arena.
Guys, I want to talk on this for a second. There's so much in the music arena. Like what she's saying, there's compromises that go on. There's musicians who sell their souls. There's musicians, actually look at Katy Perry, who she used to tour with. So she's seen some of this stuff that happened in this world. Even in the Christian world, forget just the secular, there's certain things that go on because it's become about money. And unfortunately, there's gatekeepers. There's people who, unless you have, it's called a pay to play, unless you have money to be put in on this, you will not be seen. Of course, there's others who can just go viral on social media and they have that. But once you get into the arena and actually see there's gatekeepers, that it's a pay to play. And even in this world, I've been in it since 2017 in Christian hip hop, been in that world where there's some people who you see as a Christian and who's doing Christian music, but behind scenes, they're compromising. They're not living their life as they're showing you on the camera. They're not living their life holy and blameless and searching after God. They're going back and they're doing what they want to, whether it's drinking, smoking, whatever it is. And then they're going on camera and saying, praise you, Lord, you're amazing, all this kind of stuff. My point is, there's a lot that goes on in the background. There's a lot that goes on in the secular, of course, because they don't even have any standards, but even in the Christian industry, again, like I said, I've been in it since 2017. Again, it's not a decade or anything, but just since 2017, I've seen a lot of things. We have a Christian record label that we have artists that go through and we help and we try to promote, because we want, and we don't want to just promote you can't just say, hey, Adam, can I come on here? No, we want to know about your lifestyle. We want to know if you're the same person when you're making the music as when you're all alone. I tell artists all the time, I can't get in your alone time for you. You have to spend time with God. You have to go after the Lord. You have to go after Him and say, God, I want to do this. I need you. I can't do this on my own. I want to just serve you. I want to know you. I want to love you. I said, I can't do that for you. You have to have your own alone time. And what you do in the secret will be rewarded in the open. What you do when no one else is looking, it will be rewarded. So we will know them by their fruit. We will know them by their fruit of what they're showing. And a lot of that is what they're doing behind closed door, is actually God promoting them and showing them out in when they're not behind closed door. So I just wanted to share that real quick, because she was talking about the compromises.
Or that space, it is a lot harder than people think. And I just knew that I wanted to connect people to God with my music, with my actions, with my team, with my integrity. And I didn't feel like I could fully do that with freedom going that route. And so it was an easy decision for me. And gosh, I'm so fulfilled. I'm standing in the fulfillment of prayers I prayed as a teenager to be in full-time ministry, to use my gifts for the Lord. Like I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't even start walking in what I really felt called to do till I was 35 or 36. And so I'm a late bloomer. But, you know, I'd already had a career. I'd already done the cool, famous venues, the cool private plane thing. I'd already done all that.
She said that she's later on a late bloomer. And I just felt the Lord. I wanted to say something to whoever's watching, that you're never too old. I'm not talking about if going into music or wherever you're doing. If you're 60, 70, you're never too, even if you're 20, 30, there's not my point is there's not an age. You're not too old. You're not too young. The Lord wants to use you wherever you are. And I just wanted to speak that over you real quick, because I heard her saying that and I just felt it in my spirit. And I wanted to tell you, no matter how young, no matter how old you are, God wants to use you at your age right now. He has a perfect plan for you. And maybe you're at a time where you're like, I don't know what to do. Maybe with her, right? She was a backup singer for a while. And then now, when she's a lot later on in life, God's opening up the door and saying, now I want you to go forth. You learned a lot. I want you to share what you learn. I want you to expose what's behind the industry. And this time is now for you. So don't get discouraged. If you're not in the ministry that you want to be right now, if you're not doing what God has called you to do right now, I want you to seek him, go after him, and your time is coming, friends. Let's go back to this.
And there's a reason Paul says you can gain the world and lose your soul. And I think walking the path I'm walking now with God, it's so special. And I get to see fruit of what he's doing every single day. And there's no mistake that he's using it to connect people to him. So that's the whole point, and that's why we're here tonight.
Yeah. Last question. What was, because I have to know, was it a struggle during those years, you know, touring, to hold on to your faith in the way that you knew you needed to?
Yeah, I don't think it was a struggle in the ways you would think. I think I had already gone to seminary. I was already a worship pastor at a church. I was solid in my identity for the most part. I think what was hard was being away from my community. You know, when I was only in the U.S. a few weeks out of the year, most years I was with her. And so it was just hard to stay connected. I think that was the hardest part. I was one of two Christians on a 75-person tour.
Wow. One of two Christians on a 75-person tour. Guys, like she was saying, community, church is important. How she was saying that she missed that because she didn't have that. The Bible speaks of it. It says, do not forsake the assemblies of the saints. So you do not want to be solo and say you're doing the things on your own. Go to church, be a part of the church. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want you to subscribe and follow for more faith-based messages, more faith-based content. There's enough junk out there. We want to put out something that's going to edify you, something that's just going to uplift you, something that's just going to be good news to watch instead of all the bad news to watch. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, and God bless you guys.